So there's a few questions, and Andrea obviously has free reign to ask us whatever she wants. So, my
y'all
lady,
ready for this?
you have the floor.
Tell me your saddest story.
I love that you guys are keeping it current with that musical choice.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Menage-A-Pod, the hysterical comedy podcast about sex, dating, and relationships. As always, I'm joined by the taco to my margarita. Jenna, what's up, girl?
Oh, hi, buddy. What's going on?
Not too much. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm all right. I was
Just all right?
Yeah, it's been a day.
Just a day,
been like
not a
month.
week,
It's
not
been
a
a
year.
month.
2020 starting out rough.
I'm still really bummed about the Rob thing, and I can't really get over it. And I'm trying really hard, but it's really starting to get to me.
I will say.
I ignored it at first, and now it's all like grief.
Just washing over
bullshit.
you.
Yeah, it really is. And I didn't sleep last night. And I just want someone to take him out so I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Take
you
him
know?
out?
Yeah, you know someone?
Did you just like threaten
I bet our
violent
guest knows
crime on
someone.
our
She
podcast?
probably knows someone.
Our guest is pretty connected.
Yeah,
so
I feel like she
she's
feels like someone who
syndicated.
would,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. We'll get into that later. Anyway, other than that,
Nothing
not
really
too much.
exciting going on?
Yeah, no. How about you?
We talked about this a little bit last week. We mentioned the Overheard in Chicago speed dating social event thing that we're collaborating with them with.
Yep.
That actually sold out in like 90 minutes.
I know, that was awesome. I'm
Super
so
stoked.
excited.
Granted, I'm sure we don't have much to do with that at all, but I'm really excited about the amount of people that are going to be there and just the fun event and all the things we're going to do. How about you?
I mean, Jenny's going. So we had at least one fan to go.
There's a couple other people that have reached out that they did get tickets before it sold out. So we'll definitely have some hardcore Menage-A-Pod fans there.
I'm excited.
In full force.
I'm totally excited. Now I just have to find something to wear. Feels like a lot of pressure. And I'm just not sure I'm ready.
The bar is high.
It's because they're gonna come.
They're gonna
gonna
bring
come
their
out.
A game.
Yeah,
it's
gonna be tight. There's gonna be boobs. They're gonna look amazing.
We're gonna be.
I feel like I don't know. I gotta go shopping is what I need to do.
You might
When am
have
I going
to.
to do that?
Yeah, we're going to be
when
at-
I'm not sleeping. That's what'll happen.
That's when you do
Yeah.
it? Awesome. Well, we'll be at Goat Climb and Cry at 300 West Ontario. You definitely want to check it out.
I want to know what the age range for it. I think I don't know
They have
why
to
I
be
didn't ask
21.
that question. Well, yeah, obviously, but mine does a 21-year-old. What the fuck am I going to do with that?
Ooh.
Nothing.
Lap
I'm gonna
candy,
do nothing.
baby girl.
I'm gonna do
Lap
nothing
candy.
with that. No, thank you.
Come on. 20. Wait.
No,
Wait.
the youngest I've gone is 20. I think he was 28.
Okay.
27.
The youngest I've gone is 24, but
Sure, I'm sure that's correct. There's nothing accurate about that statement.
Since we're talking about, you were saying you wouldn't go for 21, but how about 22?
Yeah, I wouldn't do 22 either.
I don't know.
Unlike some of us. Who? Miles? I don't know. I'm just saying. 22 is pretty fucking young, and you're older than me, so.
I'm editing that out. My age is not a part of the public record.
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, it'll be fun. I'm really excited about it. I love that they included us. It was
Right.
awesome of them. And we had a call the other day, and I think it's going to come together really nicely. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and we have some other potential collaborations going on. We're going to have some cool video content as well from that. So we're looking forward to having some cool stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
And then one more thing before we jump into the episode, and it's funny that I'm bringing this up because our yet to be announced guest has intimate knowledge of this situation. So I have a friend through social media. Her name is Kelly.
Shocking.
I know. So many social media friends.
Yeah.
Hey, tonight's guest we haven't announced yet. I met her through social media.
I
Here she
know.
is. So-
I'm here for it.
And we're glad you're here. This other person that I met through social media, she's influenced around Chicago.
She 22?
She's not.
Okay.
Travel blogger, yoga instructor, obsessed with animals.
Sounds about right.
Her name is Kelly Seitz.
Okay.
So follow her on Instagram
Hey,
at Kelly Sites. So it's Kelly Sites. And we have been talking about that. So she's got these really two adorable dogs who are kind of like little pup fluencers, like my little
what
Spike
kind of
Jones.
dogs?
They're Chihuahuas.
Oh,
And
okay.
they are so adorable and so tiny. So Kelly and I had this idea that we are going to do a dog wedding event where her two dogs get married. My dog, Spike Jones, is the officiant. He's got a little priest costume.
Okay.
And then
Did he learn how to talk?
No, that doesn't. Come on, don't run our parade.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm
we like
trying to picture it. Paint the picture.
So I told our unnamed guest about this, and I was like, "Hey, you're gonna need to help me. I want this to be like the event of the year." So we're gonna reach out to everyone we know and try to make this a fun event. We want to actually do it to raise money for animal charity. So she's going on a trip to Cuba, and that purpose of that trip is to save all these like street dogs and cats. They do it a couple times a year. So we're kind of thinking that we would do it to benefit that. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And she might come on for an episode, so we'll see.
That's awesome. I support that 100%. Maybe we can get some of your influencer friends there.
Yes.
We can
Hey, I'm not an influencer, but I have some friends that are.
I know
That's all
you
that
do.
matters.
I know you do. I actually follow this rescue now. I want to shout them out, and I can't remember who they are. But
'Cause you're the worst.
They
Got
do the
it.
same. They do the same thing but they'll go to China. So like is it China where they do like the meat festivals, and they rescue all of the dogs and bring them back here. And they're beautiful. They're beautiful dogs. They're eating like golden retrievers and sheep dogs, and I was like, these are like, people pay a lot of money for those
Does a
dogs.
sheepdog
Like,
taste
what the
like sheep?
hell? I mean, stop. I don't know, but they're so gosh darn cute. And anyway, I'm always like, should I get another one? I might.
I think you're good for now.
You're right. It's a lot of work.
Just keep your bond with Miles and let that grow.
It's a lot of work. When I told him he wasn't the love of my life earlier,
No, you did say that.
poor sweet man.
All right. Well, why don't we move a little bit into the episode and
Yeah.
get to our guest?
Let's.
I know, guys, if you listen to our show, you're probably pretty familiar with me talking about how excited I am for all of our guests. Mm-hmm. But this week, it's a little different. Today's guest and I have a little bit of a history, and she is basically a complete thorn in my side. I've been putting off having her on here for literally ever, but she finally wore me down. And since we've scheduled this interview, I've been looking forward to it with the same excitement I have for like going to court, maybe a dentist appointment.
I hate the dentist.
Prostate exam, or getting my balls stepped on.
I feel
would
like
rather have my
she's way
balls
more
stepped
pleasant
on.
than all of those things.
Well, you guys get the picture.
Okay.
Our guest today is nailing imperfection. She is an on-camera personality, comedian, mom of the year, podcaster. Her podcast is called The Werk Wives. Go to @thewerkwivesofficial, THEWERK, Wives Official on Instagram. And she is also a beauty guru and a great friend of the pod and a friend of mine. You can find her at theandrearappaport.com and on Instagram at theandrearappaport. With no further ado, Andrea.
Welcome.
Woo!
Oh my God, Andrea, we love you.
Oh my God, you guys have a studio audience.
We do.
So nice.
We brought them in special
Not
for
even
you.
like a real laugh track.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know?
She got special treatment, guys.
That was the warmest opening I've ever had.
It was.
Aw,
Do
that's
you,
so nice.
So nice.
do you feel the yin and yang of both how much I wanted you here and how much I detest you?
You know what? No, I felt more of the detestment.
Okay.
Is that a word?
All right.
Detestment.
Interesting. I feel like
a testament of your detestment.
Ooh.
interesting. I sometimes feel like TJ is like the kid on on the playground who like is mean to the people he really, really likes.
No, that's
like
not what's
picks
going on.
on them. That's what I think that was.
This is pretty clear.
It's super
think
clear. Yeah. My disdain for this woman is, it could be measured in the Richter scale. And I know that joke doesn't make sense, but I'm going to stick with it.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, it's a real pleasure to be here, guys. Thanks so much. This was fun. Thank you. Hope you both get fucked. Have a great year.
I honestly
And
hope we
closing
both
credits.
get fucked as
How
well.
did I know that was going to go there?
I mean, it had to.
God.
I mean, there's three of us here. That's the whole point of the podcast.
As you would say, TJ, you're the worst.
Aw.
You're the worst.
Hurtful.
Super hurtful. That was super hurtful.
So
Yes.
clearly,
Everything
Andrea.
he says.
Clearly, Andrea listens to the podcast because she has spot on
I've listened
impersonations
to the
of both
one
of us.
episode where you mentioned my name. And that's only because you DM'd me saying, listen, I'm going to mention your name.
Yeah,
And then I did. And I listened to the part where you said my name. And I'm like,
this is garbage. We're getting out here. All right. Well, beyond being a giant pain in my ass, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
all right, well,
All right.
let's sit back, have yourself a little sippy of wine. So, as you so eloquently put it, I am a social media personality, an on-camera personality, full-time pain in the ass.
For sure.
I'm a comedian. I'm an actor. I'm a small business owner. I run a company. I co-own a company that I run called Flawless Beauty Chicago.
Okay.
And we are a hair and makeup services company, mainly on the North Shore, but really all over the Chicago area. And I have a video series with my business partner called Mom's Makeup Minute, where we give beauty tips to busy moms. And I have my social media platform at the Andrea Rappaport.
No longer. What was it before?
Andrea doesn't give a duck.
Yes.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
But she needed a sassier, sexier rebrand, I think.
Sure.
So what happened was I was starting to book more television appearances and gigs, and the handle Andrea doesn't give a duck makes people really nervous that you're going to say that you don't give a fuck on air.
Right.
Sure.
So
Like you just said on air here.
yeah,
But this doesn't matter.
This doesn't matter.
Our audience of like
This is not a real show.
No. Guys, Andrea just got pushed off her chair. It's weird. You should see it.
On fire.
That's just the gonorrhea. It's different.
Oof.
Just a round of antibiotics and you'll be fine. Can't stop the feeling.
Awesome. So,
Well, that's all the time we have for you, Andrea.
it's been a great time.
TJ's next friend from social media is coming in the next 3 minutes. Look at you.
There's like a line.
I got the lean back laugh.
Yeah. There's like a line out the
Lean
door
back.
of those.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but this
They're
is
all waiting
different.
in
This
the
is like
lobby.
real friend. Like
Right.
Andrea, you're
We
my
are.
real
We are
friend.
real
Yes.
friends.
We communicate frequently.
Yeah, we're beyond the social media.
No.
Hi, what's
No.
going on?
Yes, we are actual
Probably
friends.
because you're not trying to sleep with him.
Accurate.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. That's the. Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah,
that-
I think that's
I'm
probably
in that-
that's
I'm in
the
that other
defining moment.
category. So in all of
Yeah,
TJ's DMs,
you're like the actual
in the
friend.
in the primary, it's all
Yeah.
the girls who want to get inside.
Totally. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. A little pinky,
That's
if
right.
you will.
Just a little
Yeah.
dab of
Yeah.
This first knuckle. I mean,
Seriously.
come on, guys.
And then I'm in general, or it's just me.
Right.
'Cause it's like,
Like a just like a
I'm like in
general
the
friend.
GA.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. I totally get it.
and they're like,
yeah.
He's like, maybe I'll respond. She's not giving up anything.
Yeah, Andrea gets left unread more than any woman I know, for sure.
That
Please,
is
I
one
doubt
of the
that.
truer things you've said.
I doubt that.
It's true. It's true. Actually, I do. Actually, I do. Because he made the mistake of handing me his phone.
Ooh, I mean, I did show you my
that
phone.
is a mistake.
You showed
That
me
is a
your
mistake.
phone.
I did.
Or not. I mean,
I was horrified.
You were not horrified.
I was horrified.
She was just like, she's like,
As a woman-
she's like, I'm in your phone as Andrea number 11. You know 11 Andreas?
Andreath.
That's what's it called when you each have something of that you could get
Blackmail.
Well, blackmail is the exchange of
white
one
mail.
for the money.
White mail. Very, very white male.
No, when you each have something dirty, there's like a
Single white female.
exactly.
privilege. Oh,
You
no.
guys are both idiots. All right. Well, before this goes any more ridiculously off the rails, why don't we get into the topic?
Great.
Okay. Everyone who has ever put themselves in the dating pool has assuredly had their share of embarrassing dates and dating situations. I know I have. Jenna, I'm sure you have. Andrea,
Are you kidding? All the
Have
time.
not.
have not. Whatever. I'm sure your dating life is a veritable cornucopia of snafus.
Well, you know that I am recently back into that dating world.
Real recently, yes, I know.
Real recently.
I am aware.
We should have talked about that up top.
I mean,
Go ahead.
Because I'm
Go
curious.
ahead.
well, do we
I'd like to know.
do we want to just literally cut right here and go back? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like you should tell us a little bit more. I know we talked a lot about your businesses and stuff, and that's awesome. I love like strong women.
Boss bitch.
I'm
Yeah.
so strong. I could probably bench press the both of you.
You probably
Guys.
could.
I mean,
You
I
probably
did
could.
earlier.
Wait,
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone,
It got real
follow
hot
her at the Andrea Rappaport. She posts the most funny, ridiculous stuff in her stories, some of which are like
true.
workout videos that are like serious but not. And when they get not, they're very funny.
They're all serious.
Oh yeah, you're the straight man.
Those are the serious videos. I'm straighter than you.
Fair. Anyway, tell us a little bit more about like are you dating? Are you married? What's your deal?
What are you getting at?
I mean, it is a relationship podcast,
You want
so
me
like
to tell that I'm getting a divorce? Is that
Oh,
what we have to
been
talk
there,
about?
been there. Yeah, we've all been there. You're
Join
in
the
good
club,
company.
love.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel really welcome. I feel
Yeah.
at home here. Have another glass of wine, Rappaport.
Yeah.
Let's see some tears.
No, we just,
I don't even need wine for that. I just cry freely. It's fine.
Same. So yeah, I'm in the midst of a divorce. Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
congratulations.
How long
huh?
were you married?
Oh God. I should know this. It was like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
My attorney right now, like I'm acting like my attorney is listening. My attorney's gonna be like, damn it, get your facts straight. Something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
together for 11, and it was like 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long run.
But then, like, when did it start to fall apart? Because every time I
About
hear
11
that,
years ago.
right? I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
People who get divorced is like, I mean, at
You know
least-
almost immediately.
You do, and you make these decisions, and then you know you're in therapy, and you're kind of
Totally.
figuring yourself out, and then
Yep.
so long story longer. So I have a history of suffering from pretty severe anxiety.
Okay.
And it got really bad after so I have 2 little kids. I have a just turned 5-year-old and a just turned 3-year-old, 2 boys.
Oh, so
They're
yeah, that
angels.
is pretty little.
They are angels.
Yes.
They are angels.
So
And-
you're technically
So-
in that terrible choose phase. I hear
mean,
at 3, it
yeah,
gets a
it's-
little dicey.
It's horrible.
yeah. But 5's a good age.
No, he's horrible
No?
too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're both terrible people.
Okay.
Little terrorists.
They are. After I had my second son, the bottom fell out and I lost it.
Yeah.
And I had a really, really hard time. We're talking like multiple hospital visits, like just from, because what happens is I would have these awful panic attacks in the middle of the night and I would vomit uncontrollably.
Oh, shit.
And then when I get to the point where I can't keep myself together, I go to the hospital. So after a certain point, I had to look at what the hell is going on in your life? Why is this happening? And why can't we get to the bottom of it? And you take a look at what you've got going on and the choices that you've made and some things that you need to tweak. And apparently my marriage was one of them.
Yeah.
So I,
God, sometimes you got to tweak it.
sometimes I have to tweak it.
Yeah. I mean, was any of that postpartum though after the second, or do you think that had
Yeah,
anything to do with it,
no,
or was it just all?
I mean,
Marriage.
who knows? I'm not
You
a
never
fucking
know.
Doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
You
know
just
that.
play one on TV.
That's right.
in the bedroom?
I don't know. I just know. Oh, God.
You play doctor. Wait, hold on. Andrea, do you play sexy doctor in the bedroom? You're so naughty.
Oh Jesus! I would be the worst at that. Like the
Doctor or role playing?
just role because I can't
different.
take anything seriously.
Oh,
But you're a classically trained actor.
I am, but I would be like, ooh.
Sexy.
Your next patient is here. Isn't that so funny? Look at my nipples. Oh God, my parents must be so proud.
We're proud if no one else is.
Yeah. My parents and boyfriend are listening, like just rolling their eyes. But speed to the next part. I
the
have
boyfriend.
a boyfriend.
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
exciting.
grand? I know, so exciting. So,
how'd you guys meet?
Bumble.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've sworn it off.
I am a
so-
Bumble success story.
You can do good work on Bumble.
I was on the Bumble for like days. Like, I mean, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like literally 3 days, you guys.
I mean, you're kind of a catch.
I'm kind of like a big deal. No, but like it was crazy. So I feel like once I made that choice to undo something that was not right, and not right for my soon-to-be ex-husband either. We're
Totally.
not a good situation. Things shifted, and I went out on a few dates with a few different people, and then I met the man I'm seeing now, and so things are like much better and great. And
Good.
you know, I'm having sex again.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that
great.
So
That's
great.
the best part of that whole story.
What's that like?
Yeah.
Having
What?
sex.
Beats me.
I mean, after not having it for a long time.
Yeah.
You hear a lot about like, oh, the serotonin and the dopamine and all the things that happen when you get, it's like, yeah, I know. I like if you start a day off with sex, the rest of the day is like always incredible. Like it's such a good,
Birds are chirping.
Yeah.
Colors
I
are brighter.
I don't know. That's not for me.
really?
No.
Ooh, if I start off the day with sex,
Is it because you don't enjoy morning sex, or you just don't like get that much of a
I
high?
just think my day can be easily turned. Like
same.
I don't feel like the birds are like in the
Same.
moment. Like
you
fine.
come 3 times, but then you get cut off in traffic.
I mean, 3 times. Like then you know.
Yeah.
Then it's a good day.
Someone's
then the birds are
getting shot.
chirping.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's hot in here.
You're gonna make her nervous.
That's what I do.
The whole come 3 times thing. It's like so intense.
Yes, it is intense. That's really the only setting I have.
Oh, please.
Intense?
Oh, I thought you said come 3 times. Oh, and I was like, meh.
Sorry, ladies. That's the only way I do
Yeah.
it.
I hit him with it 3 times. You know.
Boom, boom, boom.
I'm like,
I don't think you're ready for this, Jelly. Oh, TJ, I had no idea.
That is
something
exactly
like that.
Is that what it
you guys,
sounds
what
like
you
that?
guys don't know is that was not Andrea. That's actually a recording that we just played that was taken in my bedroom.
Or it's like womp womp.
All right, well,
It's hurtful. I said it just for you.
it was not just for her.
It was. It really was. That's why I looked right at her.
The lady.
All right, so we're going to jump into the topic. Everyone who has ever put themselves in the dating pool has assuredly had their share of embarrassing stories and dating situations. I know that I have, Jenna. I'm
Oh
sure
my
you
God,
have.
so many. I wrote about them.
You did.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to read a few listener-submitted short, embarrassing stories. We're going to talk to Andrea about some of her stories as well and how she bounced back from them. And we're going to give you some practical ideas about how to not let the date careen out of control in the face of embarrassment. After that, we're going to turn the tables. So as Andrea mentioned, she's kind of becoming a bit of a TV personality, and she's dipping her feet into that water. So we're going to give her a chance today to show off her interviewing charm and anchoring skills, and she's going to interview Jenna and myself.
It's scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And she's pretty charming. I know I said some pretty hurtful things about her.
I know she's charming, but she feels like a little bit of a spitfire, so I feel like she's going to throw us some curveballs.
She's going to throw us real curveballs. So
Yeah.
with that said, we might make a real breakthrough today.
Really? What's that? You're going to actually say something about yourself and become vulnerable on air for a second? Probably not, right? Like, that's probably not going to happen.
I cried in an intro.
Once, and I think I've said this to you, but that I got so many comments from people that I know that were like, that was like the minute we knew he wasn't like a total D-bag. He like had real feelings, and it was a turning point for a lot of listeners. And then you went back to not talking about yourself. So this will be great. I think this will be great. You should hit him hard, get him.
But I have to say, knowing you have real feelings.
Oh,
I do.
100%.
For the people out there
100%.
who are debating whether he's a total a-hole.
Totally.
He is. But he is an a-hole with heart.
In a hole with heart.
That is
That's my business
accurate.
card.
Yeah, that's
you're,
accurate.
You're actually far from an a-hole. It's all just
You've never
your-
dated him.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Lucky for
Accurate.
you.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a great friend. He's a great
think that
friend.
I'm sure you're lovely, and it's probably just all your little fears that get in the way.
Well, now she's a therapist.
God damn.
No, I'm just
Man.
saying for the women out there who are daydreaming in their cars, he's very nice.
All right, we're moving on.
right.
We're
I was like,
But we've had this conversation. I think.
I think your ego likes them. In not a bad way. I don't mean that in a mean
his
way.
eagle?
Ego. His ego.
like the Eagle Man insurance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
I've
thought
got something for you.
I thought eagle was a euphemism
Euphemism?
no.
for his.
No.
You know.
Yeah, I call my
And I
penis
was
the
thinking,
eagle.
No.
The
eagle.
Like
That's
the eagle has
that's impressive.
landed.
No,
No.
I shave him and I call him the bald eagle.
Right.
No, ego.
Okay, his ego likes it. No, I think we all do this where it's easier to dismiss people than to be dismissed.
Fair.
True.
And so I think that those of us, and TJ, you and I are alike in this way. Like
In that we're
have-
charming, attractive, and wonderful.
And you guys, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for listening. No, I think that a lot of people who lead with the funny foot we're some of the most sensitive people out there.
Totally.
And we use it as our defense. We use it to, we're protecting ourselves from all of the shit that we don't want people to see.
Sure.
So if someone starts to get in there,
Ooh, don't
then
wanna let 'em
you
get in
can
there.
be like, bye. And
Bye,
it's just
bae.
because, baby, bye, bye, bye.
It's one of my new catchphrases I'm trying out.
Wait, one more time.
All right, do it again.
Bye, bye. Catchphrase. Hashtag bye, bye. It's BYEBIH.
Wait,
You're
what was
welcome.
the
Okay.
other catchphrase that you taught me the other?
Oh, premium content.
Yeah. PC.
PC,
Premium content.
Premium content.
Oh my God.
It was in the opener last week.
Dude, your hashtag was so PC. Premium content. Why do I keep talking like that?
I don't know.
I've gotten
Maybe it's like your alter ego.
I don't know.
It's like
I
Beyonce and
I
Sasha
like
Fierce.
her. Is it? It's like Linda Lipschitz meets Linda from the block.
You're ridiculous.
She's Jewish.
She is. Just like you. Wait, you're
No, that's what I meant. I meant she. I was referring to me like as it's my pronoun.
Oh,
PC.
premium content. All right, so we are going to
Stories.
read through these stories. We're going to just kind of go back and forth.
Are these from readers? I mean, listeners?
They are from listeners, yes.
Okay.
So we're going to go through and each take turns, and then we're just going to kind of, riff, joke, see what we got. And if we can come up with creative solutions for how we would have handled these things if they happened to us. And then teach people how to kind of have some coping mechanisms to deal with their embarrassments. Got it?
Okay.
I think this might be a little bit beyond our skill set, but I
I was
think
like, coping mechanisms.
Did you
Someone
hear-
in this room has those? I don't.
I have many.
Jenna, did
Okay.
you hear how Andrea
Besides
just like
being funny.
dissected me?
Sure did.
Oh, God.
I feel manhandled.
Okay.
Whoa, man.
And you liked it.
Okay, so I'll start off. Listener wrote in, said, I ate really spicy tacos a few hours before the date. We went to a really posh restaurant. I had to go to the bathroom 3 times during the 2 hours we were there. The waiters were staring. She was looking embarrassed by me. After dinner, she said I should go home and rest. No second date, never heard from her again. Now, that's a rough one.
But like, who cares?
What do you think, Andrea?
Was it a guy? How am I reading this? Is
Yeah,
this
it was a
he
guy.
was a
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah,
it was a
the guy that went to
Yeah.
so the guy was the one who was going to the bathroom all the
Yes,
time.
yeah.
Oh, please, you better get used to that.
Bubble guts, baby.
Like, seriously. Don't move in with a man then, because
I mean,
fuck, they shit all the time.
A few things. Number one, maybe you don't eat spicy tacos. Before,
Also that.
Like, make some better decisions.
Right,
here.
right. Agreed.
Also, when I read it, I thought it said Polish restaurant, not posh. Now it makes a lot more sense.
Lots of posh Mexican restaurants out there. Like, is that a thing?
There might be, man.
And yeah, I don't know. And like, what a jerk she is. Like, no, like,
Yeah, who
I mean,
cares?
come on, get over yourself.
I mean, sometimes you get a little stomach bug.
Right. I mean, like, if that's the only reason that you're writing him off, well, then you know what,
Sure.
Susan, I hope you shit yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, Karen.
On the way. to
Literally.
school.
I have a
blowout
feeling there
diarrhea.
was probably more to that she didn't like. And if that's not the case, then she's super shallow and he wouldn't want to date her anyway.
At least, and plus he didn't shit his pants.
Also,
Well, he didn't,
right, he's not
yeah.
Wes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Our friend Wes shit his pants.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think so. If you shit your pants, that one's tough to come back from. This one, if someone's
Yeah.
going to judge you on it, maybe that's a little too far.
I think so.
All right.
I'm over it.
Okay. So Jenna, why don't you read the next one?
I leaned in for a kiss, our lips connected, and I burst out laughing and snorted. Safe to say that was the end of that. Also, stupid. Like, who
Wait,
cares?
how is that embarrassing?
Yeah, it's not really. It's kind
I
of
actually
cute
think
and
I'd
endearing.
laugh.
I can't tell you how many times I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you make
Well,
out,
when I go to kiss,
when
you
you
just
practice
snort.
your kissing by
Yeah.
making out with your
Yeah.
hand, you giggle all the time, don't you?
Yeah. But I feel like I'm always laughing and snorting. What part of that is embarrassing? The part
don't
that
know.
happened in somebody's mouth? Okay, here's one that I like. I met her father. I meant to say, pleasure to meet you. I ended up saying, I am pleasure. Ugh.
Oh, that's awkward.
That's weird for him
That's a little
too, because
awkward.
I am pleasure. How did he know?
Pleasure. That makes me laugh. Can you imagine? You know how embarrassed you would feel? He's like, hi, I'm Bob. You're like, I am pleasure.
But I also think it depends on how the dad
If,
reacts.
if it was
right?
like me and I had a daughter and that happened, I would be
You just
like,
make a joke.
Are your parents hippies? Who the fuck names their kid pleasure?
I feel like, yeah, I don't know. My dad would get super embarrassed. My dad's very quiet and reserved, so he would be really uncomfortable, I think, if somebody said that.
I am pleasure.
Yeah. And my dad would be like,
Pleasure to meet you, pleasure.
yeah, exactly. He would totally do something like dad jokey or whatever. I'd be like, oh, this is awkward for everyone.
And you are not dating my daughter. Yeah.
But I also have to say, like, this is funny. It's like, who's going to, like, what dad is not going to be like, oh, that's hysterical?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a story to remember. That's a story to tell at an engagement party. or
Totally.
like, good luck, best of luck to you, pleasure. We hope if it works out, write us back, let us know. I'm part of the show now. I'm saying
Totally.
write
Yeah,
us back.
pleasure.
I feel like my mother, though, would take that and run with it. She'd be like, really? And then she'd wink at me or something really inappropriate. 'cause
Oh, your
that's my
mom is
mother.
like that?
Oh, yeah. So my ex-husband, once, the first time he ever came to meet my family, he had to go from the bathroom into the bedroom and he forgot to bring his shirt with him. And so he had on shorts and no shirt. And my mother walked straight up to him because it just so happened he like thought he was sneaking out of the bathroom and she was coming out of her bedroom, which is at the end of the hall. And
They had
they
just gotten
passed
done
each
fucking.
other.
Ew,
And my mother goes up to him and she grabs his arms and she's like, everything okay here? Do you have everything you need? Did you have all the
She
time?
did, like, a
and
full
she's like
pat
full,
down.
like touching his like chest and his arms. And he comes in, he's like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I have to shower again. Your mother just molested me in the hallway. And I
wonder
like,
if part of him
I
liked
should
it.
have warned you about
I feel
that.
like some guys, it's like no matter the
Maybe.
age of the woman, there's still a woman's hands on your body. And so
Sure.
part of he's
For
like,
sure.
Or like the mom, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a fantasy, I'm
It's
sure, for
so
some people.
like Stacy's mom has got it going
Totally.
on.
If I'm being
Totally.
honest, I'd rather have sex with Jenna's mother.
Yeah, he does everything for my mother.
I feel like
It's
you've
weird.
mentioned that.
It's weird.
Before.
But you've only listened to one episode.
It was on. It was in that part. It was in that part 30.
Oh, okay.
I knew. As the words were coming out of my mouth, like episode. Right.
It probably was. You talk about her all the time.
She is a Spitfire.
Yeah.
Your mom and Andrea.
Yeah. I knew who you were
We're a
talking
match
about.
made in heaven. Me and Jenna's mom. We're going to start our own damn podcast.
She's great.
Oh my God! If you two started a podcast, I would certainly listen to that.
Oh my God.
Andrea and your
I can't
mother.
even imagine what that would be
Would
like.
that be so good?
It would be so good.
So
It would be
good.
off the rails.
Yeah.
All right,
What would they talk about? Who knows?
Speaking of off the rails.
I know. How would they come back from embarrassment with that? That's a great question.
Jesus.
Okay, so here's one. So we drove to a live dance performance about 30 minutes away. Once the show was over, I realized my keys were missing. We retraced our steps to the car and found them in the ignition with all the doors locked. Ridiculous. I called my brother, who was also my roommate, to bring me my spare key. He said he had just put some laundry in and we had to wait, so we were stuck there for like an extra hour and a half.
That's a dick move.
Yeah.
I leave my laundry downstairs all the time.
Yeah, but
Nobody
you live
cares.
in the ivory tower. No one's fucking with your laundry here.
Well,
These stories aren't that embarrassing.
I don't think that's embarrassing.
I'm-
no.
Like, I want to, like, we got to.
I'm embarrassed
Yeah,
by these
like,
stories. Let's tell
I
our
can-
own
I can
embarrassing
top
stories.
these stories.
Yeah, Andrea, give me some embarrassing stories for you.
Okay, so when I was in my 20s, I made a series of really poor decisions. And one time,
Same.
right,
like every 20-year-old.
I ran into a poor decision on my way home from work one day, and I hid behind a dumpster in an alley so that we wouldn't like cross paths. But lo and behold, this decision takes that alley to get to his poor decision making apartment. So and I didn't know, and so I'm like crouched, like crouching tiger, hidden Andrea behind like a dumpster, like
You do good work in dumpsters, Andrea.
Anyway, so I'm like hiding, like minding my, probably like messaging on my BlackBerry, like, OMG, I'm hiding in an alley. And all of a sudden he like walks right by me and he's like, hey. And I look over, hey. And then I go back to texting.
Just like ignore him, texting back to your phone.
Right. This is just where I hang out. This is my office.
Just hanging out in the dumpster.
I'm a temp
Really not a
here.
big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah. You needed props for that.
Right.
If you would have been there and you would have had like pen, notepad, some sort of prop.
You know, the next time that happens to me, TJ, I am going to bring my props.
You should, I would say.
At all times.
Like Carrot Top. Be a prop comic. Just keep like a bag of props with you.
Did you just compare me to Carrot
You guys
Top?
have a very similar aesthetic.
Oh, thank you. My God, now I'm getting emotional.
I have that opinion. I have that effect on people.
That was so beautiful. Get fucked. No, and then the best. Brace yourselves. So, newly dating somebody, not the person I'm now dating, years ago. And this is back when I had a dog who was also blind. He
Yeah.
was blind. And we were in bed and things were happening. And I remember saying to the man that I was seeing, I don't really like that. And he said, you don't really like what? And I said,
No.
you know what you're doing with your tongue on my ass. How are you doing it and talking? Oh, it wasn't him. It was my dog licking my ass.
Oh no.
Okay, that's premium content.
That's never happened to me. Well, because here's what happens. Usually like when you're having sex and whatever, the dogs are not on the bed.
Well, poor little blind Basil got lost.
Oh.
And he was trying to find his way back home.
Yeah, I bet he was.
And he made it to,
Sounds like-
made it to the mothership.
Yeah. That's what
He
it sounds
made
like.
it. It was so.
Okay, if we're talking embarrassing, I've got a doozy for you guys. All right, so about, I don't know, maybe a year ago, I was had just, finished, doing the deed.
Why is it that you're more of a woman than I am?
Okay, so no, I just had sex. We walk out of the bedroom. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna use the restroom." I'm like, "I'm gonna grab some water." So I walk out of her bedroom, past the bathroom, and she's like, "Hey!" And she turns around, so I grab my arms around her, and I feel like her arms are like around me, and I like we're touching. There's no free hands, and suddenly like her hand moves, and I'm just like, "Why is your hand wet? And why are you touching my dick?" She's like, "I'm not." And I look down, and her dog is definitely licking my
Shut
cock.
the fuck up.
He got it.
Well, dogs
That
are gross
dog
like
got it.
that.
And
They
it-
like underwear and shit, so
Dude,
that makes sense.
It was a short. I mean, it was literally like 1.8 seconds of dog tongue
Sure
to
it
TJ
was.
dick contact. It wasn't like extended.
And then when you were
And
like,
how was
notice
it,
what it
TJ,
was.
better than
Yeah.
sex?
It was, the tongue was weird.
Was it?
Yes.
Nice.
I had like a real crisis
Like
for about
warm.
25, 30 minutes after that. I was like, oh God, that dog just tried to suck my dick.
Gross. That's gross.
You want me to be more vulnerable, Jenna?
Yes.
Is that what you want?
That's exactly what I was
I'm
looking
here
for.
for it.
Stories like that.
You want
I thought that was
vulnerability?
great.
Yeah.
And a dog
He's
also.
like, here we go, a dick licking dog. Here you guys go. Buckle
Top
I'm
up.
pouring
that.
my heart out to you.
Buckle up
world.
for this PC.
Yeah.
premium content. Man, I feel like we have some new listeners who've come to the show who will be very disappointed.
Who are now gone.
Yeah. They're going to give this episode a listen. They're going to be like, wow, this dude is the worst.
No. They love you and your dick
They
licking
do.
dog.
I'm sure.
Okay, Jenna,
It's very
you're up.
charming.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one that I thought was kind of funny, which is I actually think is embarrassing.
No,
a little
you got to
bit.
tell one
Yeah,
of
yeah,
your
yeah. Whoa,
own.
whoa,
Oh,
whoa.
mine? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, mine.
And you can take a minute to
oh,
gather
shit.
yourself.
No,
We'll
I
edit this
know
one.
mine. So
Be real.
it was very.
Don't tell me no.
I know, like me, because I'm so not on the show.
I just told a story about a dog licking my
I
cock.
know. Mine was kind of mortifying. So I wrote about it, so some people might know this story. But basically, I went on one date with this guy. It was fine. And then he ended up moving, like legitimately moving out of town, probably because of our date. And he was back in town for a funeral. And he called me and was like, hey, I know this is kind of weird. Like, we've only been out like once or twice, but I'm back in town. It'd be great to see you. Can I like come in and hang and maybe like stay the night? I have the funeral the next day and then I'm going to like leave. And I was young. I was like 25. So I didn't have the
It was
forethought.
like 3-4 years ago.
Totally. I didn't have the forethought to be like, this could be a disaster. Also, he could murder you. So I was like, yeah, sure. Come stay at my house, you virtual stranger. That would be super fun. I had a roommate at the time, and
Which one was it?
Erin. Hi, Erin. You don't know her. Well, you know her because she follows the podcast, but it's not who you're thinking. Hi, Erin. She was living there at the time, and so the first day he was there, he showed up, not at all what I remember him looking like. And I don't know if like on our first date I was just drunk and didn't pay attention or what, but he was not as attractive as I remember, and kind of like a little trashy. Anyway, so the next day, so he's there, he gets there, it's fine. We sleep over. I'm in the corner of the bed. Don't let him touch. The next day we get up and I go to the bathroom and I text Aaron and I was like, Aaron, you have to get him out of this house. Like, I can't, he's wearing like jean shorts and I think I said jorts. I was like, he's wearing jorts. And she was like, what? And what ended up happening was the minute I sent it, I realized I sent the text to him.
Yikes.
Yeah,
And
I
not
was waiting for
her.
that part. Yeah.
And I'm in the bathroom hiding because then I was like, fuck, what do I do now? He's sitting in my living room. And I walk out and he looks at me and he goes, did you mean to send this to me?
You should be like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm a real G.
And
Get out of my house.
well, I didn't. And then I like lied because like, what do I say? I mean, I guess now I probably would have been like, yeah, I'm sorry. That was a shit move, whatever. But 25-year-old me thought I could get out of it. And I was like, oh yeah, super funny story. Talking to my friend Erin and she just like went on a first date and he had like jean shorts on too. Ha ha ha. Like,
Sorry for your loss.
sorry. Yeah, exactly. It was terrible. And he looked so sad.
He was probably sad. That was
This
really
is more
mean
of
of
a
you.
sad
Yeah.
story.
Well, and then so like he was there. He had to stay one more night.
He got hit by a bus the next
And
day.
no.
So there were 2 funerals.
worse. Oh no. Yes, my fucking ego because he I drank through it. And like I get this text message from him and he was like, hey, FYI, like I used to have a drinking problem. I think you might have one. Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, after he left though. He didn't say it to my face. So I was like, oh, that's really hurtful. So I hurt your feelings, now you hurt mine and you think I have a drinking problem. So
You do have a little drinking problem, right?
I mean, now I do, but not at 24. I didn't. I
your
was a
wine
normal
glass is
24.
empty. We weren't even drinking
I know.
tonight.
I know. I'm fine.
What a quitter.
I'm not upset about it. So that was awful and embarrassing, but I never saw him again, so who cares?
It's probably for the best. That sounds like it was pretty
Yeah,
awkward.
it was awful. And like as an adult, I feel bad for being so stupid and like shallow and annoying. Like I don't think I would send that text message now. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I once had intimate relations with a guy who afterwards told me, my name is so-and-so, but my friends call me Corky, because I look like the guy from Life Goes On.
No.
And for our younger listeners, Life Goes On was a sitcom or a family drama where one of the protagonists had Down syndrome, right?
Mm-hmm. They tackled a lot on that show.
They did. It was good.
HIV.
It was PC, premium content.
It really was.
It really was.
It really
good.
was.
It was a good show.
That story was a good segue there. Good work, Rappaport.
Can I go now?
Yep.
Nope, you're stuck here forever. All right, well, those are just some embarrassing stories, and honestly, I'm a little disappointed. They weren't even all that embarrassing, right? Mm-mm. That's my fault for putting together a list of not embarrassing stories that we were sent.
I think that mine were good.
Yours were good.
Thanks.
Jenna's was good. Mine was good too.
You had a dog licking your pee-pee.
Yeah.
That was good.
A dog
I said
licking
pee-pee.
my pee-pee.
I said pee-pee. That's the mom in me coming out.
Yes.
I hope you wiped afterwards.
Quit touching your pee-pee. No,
Hands off your pee-pee.
I just laid on my back in bed and I was like, oh, man, this is weird. My dick has dog saliva on it right now. All right, so just some kind of broad. This episode is ridiculous.
Horrible.
It's not horrible. It's going to be funny. We'll make it work. Some ways to overcome embarrassment. This is important. You want to keep the right tense. I know that sounds weird, but remember that once you get embarrassed, it's in the past. It already happened. So I think lingering too much on it, there's not a whole lot that can be gained from it, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that. Got to stop apologizing.
Right. Own it and let it be.
Like 100%. If you're like a person, kind of an erotic person, you're prone to doing embarrassing, mistakey kind of things, just lean into that. Have that be your brand. It's worked for Andrea.
Here we are. Case in point.
Case in point. And, visit humiliations past. This one's huge. Earlier, Andrea had said, that would be a great story for like an engagement party or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing. Like, look back and remember, you've been embarrassed a ton of times. You've survived them all. It hasn't been the end of the world. You'll go on to make an ass out of yourself time and time again. Look at me.
Tomorrow's a new day, folks.
You will fuck up constantly every day for the rest of your life, and then one day you'll die. So,
especially if you're TJ.
Exactly. And this last one, just laugh about it. This one's pretty easy. If you think about it, previous embarrassments, they do make great stories for icebreakers, like we said. It's kind of the silver lining, right? Don't stress out about this thing that happened to you. Just know that everyone's felt like that. Everyone's been in a weird place. And short of like shitting your pants on a first date, I don't think any of this is insurmountable. Gigi?
I don't think so.
What are you thinking?
You just gotta like have a good sense of humor about it.
I mean, I've made a
Nobody
whole
cares.
career of laughing at myself.
Yeah.
So that's all you have to do.
And your name's not even Pleasure.
Accurate. But it could be. Oh. I'm going to add that to I'm going to hyphenate that.
Andrea Rappaport
Pleasure.
Okay.
Got it.
So that kind of wraps up the embarrassment portion. And as we mentioned earlier, Andrea is get a burgeoning career as a television personality, and we're going to let her kind of have the stage to interview Gena and I a bit. One of the questions we talked about, just like embarrassing stories, and that was kind of already done. So there's a few questions, and Andrea obviously has free reign to ask us whatever she wants. So,
y'all ready for this?
You have the floor.
Tell me your saddest story.
I love that you guys are keeping it current with that musical choice.
have we done one current song this entire time?
No.
We're showing our age. All right, guys. So we've talked about embarrassing stories.
Yes.
We heard them.
We
were mediocre at best.
Fair to middling.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get deep. You ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I want to know something that you, Gena.
Oh dear. Okay.
Crosshairs, baby.
I know, right?
Baby.
Okay. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Gena.
If I had a dime for every time a woman has said that to me, fuck.
You have negative 10 cents.
20 cents.
Gagging.
They couldn't scrounge up 10 cents. You'd have
I'd
two
have like an
quarters.
IOU on a
pennies.
loose leaf paper.
Yeah, totally. Marbles, maybe. Whatever. Lint from their pocket.
And I have completely forgot my question now.
Sorry.
That really...
Good. Maybe that worked. I don't even know if I wanted to know what it was.
Jesus. All right, moving on. TJ.
Yeah, I win.
Okay. Ladies first. TJ, tell me about a time when you did someone dirty and you have not been
One?
able- that
Do we have
one
time? I don't
know. Hope you all are comfortable and you all took your potty break.
Okay.
A time when you've done someone dirty, and I love that I've said that phrase twice now and not laughed because I'm so not a millennial. But
I just said that
You technically
today.
are a millennial.
if you say that to me one more time, it just gets under my skin.
You are a
like
millennial.
I am not a millennial. I'm too old to be a millennial.
Guys, Andrea, she's an old millennial, but she is a millennial.
Okay. We're going to edit that part out.
We're going to leave that part right where it is.
I'm going to stick my little finger up like this, give him the edit sign. Edit away. Listen, I want to know a time when you did someone dirty and you
Okay.
have not yet had the chance to apologize, but you think you need to.
Ooh, that's real good.
And I'm ready for my apology.
Please. I do you a tremendous service each and every day by being your friend. You're
That's
welcome.
true. You're a good friend.
So, what thing that I do that did someone dirty and I need to kind of make amends and I never did? That is a really good one. I mean, this is hard because not so many in like later in adulthood, late teens me until about 27-year-old me. There's a trail of bodies. I could apologize to some people for sure. I think it's more just a function of geographic distance and not really being connected anyway. Because, you know,
Have you ever apologized? This is for both of you. Have you guys ever apologized to someone for something that you feel like this enormous weight over? And then once you deliver the apology, they're like, wait, what? I don't even remember that.
Oh,
ooh.
I don't know.
Jenna's like, I don't apologize for much. So it's
I
really weird for
don't
me.
really apologize for anything.
Jenna's like, let me
I'm
go through my
not
little
that well
Rolodex
involved-
here. No,
I'm
much
involved.
hasn't
No.
happened.
I can't think of anything, honestly, because, well, I do like to apologize. I do like to, new me, like the last 3 years me, likes to apologize and kind of own my shit. There was a lot of therapy involved with the divorce, so like, you know, I learned it. But before that, not so much. So I probably just didn't apologize, which is a terrible thing to say.
Well, you're here now. We're making growth together. These are the breakthroughs we're talking
This
about.
is why I'm here, guys.
Yeah.
And guys, with that being
Probably didn't
said,
own
we
it.
are taking calls right now. So if anybody wants to call in and give me your
Oh, it looks like we've got our
It's
first caller.
Andrea. Hi, how are you tonight?
Oh, Delilah. That's what I was like, she sounds like, yeah.
That was Delilah.
What is Delilah?
Delilah. People call and tell Delilah, I just really miss my husband. He went out for milk about 4 weeks ago,
What is that from?
and that store is closed.
She's like a nighttime radio host.
I don't even, is she still even around?
I don't know. I only knew her because
People, she was always on like a soft. It was a syndicated
syndicated,
show.
yeah.
It's like always like a soft rock station would buy it.
Yeah, which
And,
is which you listen to primarily, right?
I mean, it's Coldplay all the time.
Oh God.
Coldplay, Matchbox 20. It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. What is with the song references?
I have no
Never
idea.
has there been a cooler person sitting in this chair.
2001 called. They want their CD
Right
case
now.
back.
Now that's what
they
I call
hits.
music.
2001.
No, that's what I call music.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I have them. I know.
I'm sure you did.
They're in the back of my car right now. I could show you.
In your
She was
19
listening to them on the
in
way
your
over. That's why
1992
they're all
Ford
in her head.
My
Taurus.
CD case. No, I don't drive a Ford Taurus. Come on, people. Okay, actually, that brings me to another. Do you guys think that it's more difficult to apologize or to accept an apology?
Oh.
I have a hard time accepting an apology.
You
There's
hold
something-
grudges?
No. There's something about it that it's a very vulnerable feeling when someone's in front of
I
you and like
agree.
admitting that they hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like I feel like a child, and especially if it's a romantic relationship, and they're like, "Look, I should not have shaved your head in the middle of the night." I'm like, but it's like hard. I was, it's okay. It's okay. I'm fine. It's fine. When
Yeah.
we're like, we are far from fine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like that admission of like, no, you really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
What is it? What's wrong with us?
That's interesting. If that's a good question for like a future therapist.
What's that?
On the episode. Why we do that. Like
Right.
why it's hard to accept an apology. I'm the same way. It makes me uncomfortable for some reason. Confrontation doesn't make me uncomfortable. Like I'm happy to have as you know, I'm fine with confrontation, but
She beats me.
it is like the follow-up
And I
apology,
hate the
which
confrontation.
feels like you're right. I think it feels very vulnerable to
Yeah.
say like, yes, you did hurt me.
Yeah.
If it's not coming from me, unless like if I were to say like, hey, you hurt my feelings because of blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. Fine. But if it's like
Unprompted?
then I think I'm a little more uncomfortable.
Jenna's like, it's like training a dog. If I'm putting their nose straight in it, I'm like, all right, good. But if they pee and then they like point to it,
yeah, 100%.
Well, that's nice.
you're like, bad boy, look what you did. I'm sorry.
You suck.
Okay, we'll let it slide.
Accurate.
Oh my God, you guys.
These are good questions. You're
They
a
are good
natural,
questions.
Rappaport.
I know. Thank you. I prepared for this interview.
You're
no,
so
I
great.
didn't.
I didn't either.
No,
one did.
no one
We're like,
did.
this woman's an afterthought. Let's get
just-
this in the can and
You
move
put
on.
out a platter of salami and just
He did.
let it. I
Yeah,
know he
he
did.
did.
You rolled out the meats and cheeses.
He sure did. He hasn't done that for any other
Bring me.
guest.
We've had brunch
But
for a
that's
couple people.
because I
Yeah,
requested
true.
it.
You did. You said some snackies,
True
some nauseous.
to Andrea form. This girl has to eat, and so I said,
Fair. I would-
is there going to be food?
And I didn't know necessarily what the easiest way to deliver food was, and I was like, I'll just get some meats and cheeses. That'll be fine.
It was very kind. It's appreciated.
I see what I do for you,
You go above and beyond, TJ. You really do.
and all you do is promote our podcast, hire me photography gigs, get your refer your friends to me. You're kind of the greatest person I know.
And I make you laugh all the time.
Egg
I've
on
never
my
seen it.
face.
Something else on your face.
Yeah, that cream puff in your fucking picture.
That's
earlier.
right.
Guys,
Don't
you'll
stop,
see that
kitty,
picture
kitty.
because that's going to be the episode cover photo.
And if you do that, I will hunt you down and get a dog to lick your balls.
It's not going to be like hundreds of thousands that will see it, but thousands will see your face with cream on it, Andrea.
You have 25 Instagram followers.
No, he's the influencer.
I'm going to kill you both.
And they're all women who want to sleep with you.
25 is the average age of his
he's gonna find,
Instagram following.
He's going to find
is what I think
the
you meant.
ugliest picture of me possible. To be like, here's the dog I had on today's show. And I'm going to be like, I'm so much cuter than she is. Because that's what they all do, probably. They compare themselves.
Totally.
He definitely is not sleeping with her. And if he is, I will fucking kill myself. I swear to God, I will kill myself. I am dead. R.I.P. me. Hashtag dead for life. I want to go down on TJ.
Spoken like a true millennial. She nailed it.
And we're out, guys. It's been horrible. Thanks so much. You can find me at.
That's hysterical. Actually, that's probably a great time to wrap up.
Get out of here, Rappaport. You have bruised both of our egos.
No,
we hate you more than we
you're-
did when you first sat down.
I don't know that that's possible. We had a pretty low floor of,
You really were.
disdain.
But like, I honestly, I just don't like you. I wouldn't say that I despise you because I don't care enough to despise you.
Indifference
Silence is
the
violence.
opposite of hate. Didn't we say that on the last episode?
Indifference is the opposite of hate.
Yeah,
I mean,
It's
you
not-
said it, and then you
You
said I
said
said
it.
you said it, and you said I said it, but I don't ever remember saying it.
You said it to me because
Excuse
I
me,
wouldn't have gotten it from
Mensa members. I don't think that makes any sense.
I don't know.
Jenna's
He's the
not
only
Mensa.
Mensa
Just, no, once I got my little certificate, I didn't pay it ever again.
You just needed the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it hanging up in your house somewhere?
It's framed and it's on my
Yeah, it
ceiling
is.
above my bed. So when
figured.
I'm like,
Oh,
It's just in the bedside drawer.
yeah, it's right next to
Take
my
it out in the
ACT
lotion.
store. And I
Lord.
just look at it and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then you
who's
listen to
there?
your voice from the podcast. It's just like fucking explosion.
If you ever come into my bedroom, we are listening.
We are not going to be coming into your bedroom.
So we
Accurate.
will be listening to this podcast.
I hope they listen to the sound of my voice. Oh.
No, the sound of your voice is like an immediate erection killer. Incredible. All right.
you.
Well, before we could sit here literally all night and just be ridiculous and tell silly stories and
We
laugh
can't.
at
I
each
have
other.
somewhere to be.
Yeah, you're. I can only
Got it.
imagine. That is what they call in the biz, a callback. Andrea, thank you so much for coming and spending time and talking to us. And before you go, why don't you remind everyone where they can find you online and the cool things that you're doing?
Oh, thank you so much for that plug. You can find me on Instagram at theandrearappaport. You can follow my podcast page at thewerkwivesofficial. Work is spelled WERK.
Like twerk.
Like twerk, but work. It is a podcast about being a female entrepreneur. I do that with my friend, Alyssa Goldwater. And you can also come to my website, www.theandrearappaport.com. If you are in the Chicago area and you need makeup services, come find me at Flawless Beauty,
Beauty.
Chicago. That's the name of my company.
That's it.
Okay,
Glad one
we're
of us
out.
remembered. All right.
One of
well,
us. Read the show notes.
All right, guys, if you want to find out more about Menage-A-Pod, head over to our Instagram at Menage-A-Podcast, where you'll find our link tree that includes a link to our Facebook group, Twitter account, website, top episodes, and more. Really, all we care about, Facebook group, Instagram, and write us reviews. Do those things. All right? Thanks to everyone who makes the show happen. That means me. That means Jenna. That means our wonderful guests like the delightful and lovely Andrea Rappaport. And thank you to you for listening to our show. Until next time, share us in your stories, retweet and share our postings, and find other ways to tell a friend about Menage-A-Pod. And of course, good luck out there.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.